Hello again, I am Lunty. Now we are rapidly approaching the point where both the PlayStation Move and Microsoft's Xbox Kinect will be hitting the market, and we will be experiencing a whole new world of motion-controlled gaming. And as the big gaming websites start to publish their first hands-on impressions and lots of different reviews and bits and pieces about both different kinds of motion gaming systems coming out soon, one thing is a constant, and that is doing what fanboys like to do best and spaz out like caffeinated tard monkeys with a whole bunch of ridiculous bullcrap, lies, untruths, ignorance. So because I am apocalyptically stupid and monumentally arrogant, I think I can shed some light on these fanboys' ignorance. I think I can teach them a thing or two. I think maybe, just maybe, when they see this video, they can stop those stupid arguments and just play their game. So I'm loading up my truth gun and I'm going noob hunting. Now, let's talk about the PlayStation Move first, because that comes out first. A lot of people are saying it's just a Wii rip-off. And yes, there are obvious similarities to the Wii. There is no getting around that because they use a very similar technology. The controls are very similar in the way they look and behave. But it is not just a Wii rip-off, because the technology that PlayStation Move uses is way more advanced than what's in the Wii. Now, we all know the dildo remote. And can we stop calling that? Can you grow up a little bit, please? We all know that the PlayStation Move remote has that ball on top, and it uses the PlayStation Eye camera sitting on your TV to look at that ball. Now, because that ball is a known size, and because the controller has some motion sensors in it, so it knows, what direction it's going, it's got a gyroscope in there, so it knows which direction you're holding it in, and the PlayStation Eye, the camera, can tell where that ball is in two dimensions, up and down, left and right, obviously, but also because it knows the size of that ball. That ball is a set size. It can work out how close it is to the camera. See, look, my fist is as big as my head there, but if I pull it back here, my fist is less than the size of my head. So you can tell that this is further away than this. That's kind of how the PlayStation Move works. I mean, that's a crude example, but that's pretty much how it works, testing that Z dimension, how close and how far away, that third dimension. And it can also tell which direction the remote it is, so when you do that, it knows it's upside down, so the sword can point down, or whatever you're doing in the game. It is way more advanced than what the Wii does. Boom! Ignorance headshot. And it is true one-to-one tracking, and I have had my hands on one at a Sony event earlier this year, and I'm just about, this time next week, I'll be playing with it again, and it is very accurate. It is true one-to-one thing. So fanboys, you can call it a Wii rip-off all you like, but what it actually is a true evolution of what the Wii started. Kabam! Ignorance headshot. That's the other thing while we're at it. Just before we get to Kinect, people are freaking out saying, "Oh, I don't want to use the motion controls to play this type of game. The controller is way better for this type of game." You idiots! PlayStation Move and Kinect are there to replace the controllers. They're there to supplement them, to use instead of to use when they are the better choice. Like in a first-person shooter, sometimes that will be a better choice because you can point at the damn screen instead of trying to use the thumbsticks to move about and stuff. PC gamers have been making fun of console gamers for decades now. Because the mouse and the keyboard are vastly superior for some type of games, like RTS games, like first-person shooters. They're much more accurate. But now with the motion gaming stuff, those PC gamers they got nothing anymore. With true one-to-one thing, the PlayStation Move, it basically replaces a mouse and then some, because it is three-dimensional, so it's going to be better for that type of stuff. Ignorance headshot. Alright, so let's talk about the Kinect. The most ridiculous thing that these fanboys are saying about the Kinect is, "Oh, it's just a PlayStation Eye ripoff. Sony were doing that years ago with the PlayStation Eye. It's exactly the same thing. You all guys are getting ripped off from Microsoft. It's just a scam and a gimmick, blah." This is the one that annoys me the most, because yes, while the Microsoft Kinect system does use a camera to look at you and track your body movements, it does it completely differently to what the PlayStation Eye did. The PlayStation Eye was a standard web camera, okay, just a single lens, a web camera. It looks at you and it basically tracked your body movement by looking at what pixels were moving in the image. It basically did that by contrast detection, so it was very crude basically, but it worked well enough for basic games where you just had to sort of bounce a ball, looking at, oh, there's a moving blur there and the object is here on the screen, I know you must have hit that, and it worked fine for very, very simple games. But Kinect is a completely different beast. It's not looking at you like you're looking at me now through a single camera. It's not trying to work out where everything is based on relative sizes and movement and all that sort of stuff. It's actually got 3 cameras in it. Okay, one camera is a standard web camera. and that's for taking pictures and stuff, like you're looking at me now, like you see in the demos of the games where it will take a picture in the mid-game, and it's, you know, people up in the air and jumping up, and that's fun. You can upload them to Facebook or whatever you want to do with them, or it can be used in a video chat situation, and that's all well and good. It does everything that you would expect a normal camera to do on a device like this. But there are two other cameras in there, and they don't see me like you're seeing me now. They look in infrared light, and there are two of them because it sees in 3 dimensions. And you should all know about the 3D by now, because we've got the 3D TV thing going on, and companies will start bringing out 3D cameras, and the new Nintendo 3DS is going to have 2 cameras on it for 3D. You need 2 cameras like you need 2 eyes for 3-dimensional viewing, and that's what the Kinect does. And it does it in infrared because there's also an infrared light source on there, so even when you're playing in a dimly lit room like most of us like to play our games, that infrared light can go boom and shine out, and it doesn't bother us in the eyes. We're not seeing a light coming from our TV distracting us from our games, completely invisible to the human eye. But these 2 infrared stereoscopic cameras, using that infrared light to light up everything, and using the difference between the 2 cameras, it can see in 3 dimensions, just like our eyes do. So it can tell if my hand is here, or if my hand is here, just based off the 3D technology that's in the twin lenses. That's basically what it boils down to. It is a completely, absolutely separate implementation of the technology than the PlayStation Eye is. Ignorance headshot. So the next time you see a fanboy spouting on and on about how Kinect is just a PlayStation Eye ripoff and PlayStation were doing it years ago, you can punch them square in the side of the head and call them a blithering idiot. Fanboy ricochet. So with any luck, I have dispelled a few rumours, I have headshotted a few ignorant noobs out there, and if you see one of these ignorant noob fanboys spouting off that rubbish in a forum or a comment section, point them towards this video, and one of 2 things is going to happen. Either they're going to learn something and go, well, actually, I didn't know that. I didn't bother to learn that before. Now I know. Now I feel more informed. And now I can have a more informed opinion about the differences between the 2 and which one I personally prefer. And if I'm going to spaz out in an argument in an internet forum somewhere, at least I'm coming from a place of knowledge rather than a place of ignorance. I'm still a retarded fanboy, but at least I'm coming from a place of knowledge. Or they're going to ignore what I say and freak out like caffeinated spaz-tired monkeys in the comments section down below this video, which, quite frankly, is equally as entertaining because it's fun to laugh at stupid people. So thanks for watching, I'm Blunty, and I will catch you next time. Kaboom! Ignorance headshot!